What I miss?
What did we miss?
What I miss? You guys, what I miss?
Welcome to What Did I Miss? Alright, you guys, in case you haven't noticed, there are like thousands of TV shows out there. We got Netflix, we got Hulu, we got Crackle, what the fuck is that? And each of them have all these seasons of TV shows. I'm talking like just shows with 10 seasons, and we're supposed to watch all that crap just to see a disappointing finale? I don't think so. This is where we come in. We skip to the worst part and just finish up the show all at once without having any context whatsoever. And this is called So What Did I Miss? I'm Oliver, and today I am working with two people. They are...
Chotch.
Flash.
Okay, sure, I haven't heard those names before, but I'll go with it. And today, we are going to be going, without any context whatsoever, into the show Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, we're just gonna watch the last episode, having never watched an episode and having only sort of heard about it. When someone's like, oh my gosh, you have to watch this! Oh my gosh!
I've never heard that from anyone in my life, but you sure? Like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, that's
No,
what everybody
me neither.
says. Like, you have to watch
No
this.
one's ever said anything
well,
like
not
that to
about
me.
Sons of Anarchy,
Yeah.
except, like, one
Okay.
girl.
Yeah, but I don't listen to that girl.
Yeah, I avoid that girl.
Like
I'm glad I have.
I'm honestly not friends with that girl at all.
Yeah, alright. Well, should we just get back into the plot of it? Like, okay, wait, what did we know about this show going in? Where would we start with this show?
Literally, all I know is that, like, a couple of women, it was mostly women that mentioned the show. Because men normally recommend, like, some kind of freaky cartoon where there's, like, a little bit of blood and darkness and irony, or they'll recognize, like, you have to watch The Wire. Or, like,
It's true.
like, you don't watch Game of Thrones? Like, do you live under a rock?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I
all
do.
do,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then, like, this show, I just knew a couple girls would mention it, be like, oh yeah, it's great storylines, you really get involved with the characters, and they're hot. There's, like, a hot guy. There's, like, hotness, so...
And so you think this show is, like, it's directed towards these women? Because I have no idea who this show is intended for, honestly, after watching that.
Well, it's like a weird, like, fantasy biker aesthetic with, like, an Instagram filter.
But it's also it's definitely that. It's definitely that sort of like biker gang fantasy thing, but it has something I think for both men and women in that the guys can be like, yeah, there's fucking shooting, and the girls can be like, oh my god, they're all so hot. Even the characters that are so obviously not hot.
Oh my god, he's sitting on a milk crate.
Like, oh my fucking god.
Oh my
Did you
God.
see Ron Perlman on the last episode? His jaw was so fucking thick.
I want to make him a stepdad.
I don't know. Oh, fuck.
Dude, Sons of Anarchy, you could be your stepdad.
Where is, where was Ron Perlman? Isn't that the jaw man? Or is
I think
that-
he played a cop.
Well, here's the thing. You asked me.
read in
you asked
Entertainment
me-
Weekly.
Okay, you asked me what I had known about this show, and the only thing I knew about this show was that Ron Perlman was in it. So to watch the series finale and not see everyone's favorite Tom Waits lookalike, Ron Perlman, Hellboy himself, if to not see him, kind of like it actually shocked me.
Not even a flash. Like, we just give us one flashback of that, man. Just like a, and then that's it.
He must have been dead.
At least a dead flashback. Hey, do you guys remember Ron Perlman? Oh yeah.
I feel like if he wasn't dead, they would have shot him in that episode because
Would've been
he's a figure.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you would thought that he would have gotten some kind of flashback because we see for 5 seconds Walton Goggins, and for 5 seconds we see RoboCop. I always forget his name, and I don't know why. Peter Weller. You see these characters that we have. I mean, I didn't when we watched it before tonight. I didn't recognize Walton Goggins or Peter Weller, and those are two people that I've seen in a lot of fucking movies or a lot of times in movies. And
They were really disappearing into the part.
I guess so.
They were there for like a flash. Like,
A flash.
I'm very impressed that you were able to recognize
I watched too many movies.
movies.
On my other podcast, for all those listening, I'm going to do a quick plug.
Plug it.
Is Four Color Film Podcast. We watch and review every goddamn movie that is based on a comic book franchise, from Superman to Men in Black to Tank Girl to Road to Perdition. All the movies that you don't really want to watch, and to be fair, neither do we. We watch them anyway and we talk about them. That's Four Color Film. There we go.
All right, good little plug
I
there.
promise you it's better than a Casper mattress.
Well, speaking of which, we're going to have to eventually go back and watch Casper, because I totally forgot that Casper is a comic book movie.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Archie
yeah, it
comics.
is.
Archie
Yeah.
Comics. So we get to go back and watch that, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Josie and the fucking Pussycats.
Enjoy some crab.
So yeah, I'm used to watching a lot of bullshit garbage movies and television shows. This was just like remarkably boring.
Yeah, it was a whole movie of boring. That just like so many scenes you can cut out. There's so many. Should we just go right into the plot of it, or where should we start on it? Just the main guy's Jesus. He is Jesus. Okay, every 10 seconds I have to remind you he's Jesus, because that's what the show did for us. If you cut out all the Jesus reminders, this may be a 30-minute show.
Also, that lady from The Sopranos, you know,
Adriana.
Christopher.
Christopher.
Yeah, you know, that girl, and then she's like, I don't know if I want to work with the police. Oh my gosh, you my best friend. Look at our jewelry and our tan. So, like, that bitch, she is doing a lot of laundry. So she's back from the dead. She was not killed in the woods.
She was upset that she's in this finale as opposed to
and she has
Fran.
Beyonce hair.
Oh, she started it. She really did. Like,
She-
Beyonce
yeah,
has Adriana
totally.
hair, okay, for Sopranos. Like, she needs to give
Christopher.
credit.
You are right.
Yeah.
Like, all jokes aside.
Yeah.
Because that's the Illuminati thing, you know, they watched a lot.
They're all in it together.
Yeah, and that's
I love
kind of what it is all
Beyonce.
about. I don't fucking know.
Back to Jesus, you guys.
Back to Jesus. The
He is
important
Jesus.
guy.
The main character, Jax Teller, is Jesus. Just keep it going. The
And-
reminders.
But he's
And-
also Hamlet.
Oh, yeah, and JFK.
And JFK. He's also JFK.
Well, that's
He's
the thing.
a JFK figure.
For anyone who hasn't watched this and doesn't realize just how serious we are about the Jesus thing, we joked about it when we first watched it, and it was kind of like, okay, as it goes along, it becomes more and more obvious and obvious, but to the point that how it ends, and we'll get to how it ends,
We don't want to spoil anything for
it's
you.
literally, it couldn't have been any more on the nose.
And we will spoil everything for you, by the way.
That's the whole point of this podcast.
It kind of hits you in the face with a truck. The metaphor is what we're saying.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
kind of like, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like, if the last word of the whole episode was Jesus, in reference to the Jesus character, which it was.
And then it's followed by Jesus iconography and a Hamlet quote.
And let's get clear, it's not like just the iconography, closeout, quote. No, it's a very, very sloppy iconography, closeout, Sons of Anarchy emblem.
Logo,
with
yeah.
the captioning information. Okay, why? I don't
Yeah.
know. And then fade out again. And then fade into the Shakespeare quote.
Well, Oliver, you do know when shows end and we're watching with captions on, they always do the captioning right
They
after
always
the
do.
yeah.
But it's just,
Yeah.
it feels
Shout
like
out to my captioners.
yeah.
William Shakespeare before the captioner shout out.
I mean-
I'm going to close out. When I see the captioner information, I'm like, fuck off.
Do you think Shakespeare's closed captioning Shakespeare for everything, for all these shows? Because they're also stealing from Shakespeare in the Bible all day.
I wouldn't
All
doubt
day.
the
Like,
shit
that's all they do. Like,
has
that's
it.
what a man does in a show. Like, that is... It's like this weird masculinity that's, like, set up for, like, intellectual women to masturbate to. It's like, I found the clue. I majored in English. I got the subtext. Oh.
Were you doing my ex-wife?
I mean,
Yeah, you were.
I was doing her.
It was great.
Yeah,
doing it.
Oliver,
Whoa.
don't speak without knowing exactly what you're talking
Oh,
about.
okay. I'm sorry. I can only picture it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But back to the main interest of Jesus. The main character is Jesus. Just to further remind you guys, Jesus is the main character. So there's a very interesting thing. Who is Judas? That was...
It's not Catman.
We want it to be Catman. Trust us. If you don't know who Catman is, you probably watch the show and think of him as a different person.
Well, I think of him as a real person.
Yeah.
But there's this man. He has curly hair and he has piercing blue eyes, and he looks like a off-Broadway experimental Shakespearean actor who, like, his agent got him this audition, and he's just ready to either be Shakespeare or Hamlet or Judas or Jesus or any of the Bible characters at any time, because he went to acting school for that.
The actor also...
He looks like a cat, and he looks like the bad guy.
Speaking of theatrical acting, the actor also looks like an off-Broadway version of Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham in Prince of Thieves. He looks so much like a white trash version of that with like the curly hair and the like Fu Manchu or like the Van Dyke goatee type deal. Like, he looks like, you're right, I could see him in a fluffy shirt just being very verbose. And he doesn't do that here. He's kind of mealy mouth, kind of sulky.
Super emotional.
Super emotional.
He's all face. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's a true TV Renaissance man. He can just get you from this real close-up where he looks terrifying.
Wait, are you in love with this man? What's going on?
I don't know. I thought he was really evil the first time around, but now it's like I'm sucked into the show, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, you want
sucked
to
in
get
the show.
more
Like,
of
I
him.
get it.
His name's Tig. They call him Tiggy sometimes, I think. I don't know. Maybe I made up the Tiggy part, but
Tigga what?
Like to go.
Tigga what?
Yeah,
Like, can
he's
I
a
get
to-go
that
pocket
to
man.
go?
Oh yeah, get that curls. But
Oh,
his first
God.
line,
Like pubes could have said.
said so menacingly to like another dude. He's just like, enjoy the rehearsal at the the booty factory. We haven't even gotten to the porno part. There's
Okay, it starts out at a booty factory, and I assume that's what they're selling because they're a gang, right? So they have a booty warehouse. A warehouse with a woman has a booty, and we're directing the booty where to go. It's like bouncing up on.
On the face.
Yeah.
You need more bouncing on the face.
Lot on the face.
But it's in the peripheral, so it looks like a factory. Like booty factory. It's just incidental.
And this is where the first line of the show is. And this is, I've seen so many interviews in which people refer to this show as Shakespearean. And first lines are very, very important. They're very telling. So let's get to the first line of At the Booty Factory from a director, unnamed director. I'm sure she's named in an earlier episode, but I had to turn on the subbies just to hear that her name is Lila. And she said, okay, now I want you to lay down, and she's talking to the person with the booty that's on the face. I want you to lay down, and you're going to straddle Dom with your back facing the camera, and I want more jiggle. Referencing to the jiggling butt cheeks on the face. This is the first line, so it's very, very, like, I can see it. It really references the rest of this episode. Just, I guess we are the dude with the ass on our face, and it's just, like, jiggling. I don't...
If I had an ass on my face for as long as this episode goes, I would be pretty bored by the end of it. And hey, I like ass, and if it's on my face, that's great. But what is this episode, about 90 minutes long or so? Damn near.
Well, they're
Damn
selling
near.
the ass-to-ass addicts. It's just like how they get people hooked on drugs. It's like
They give them a piece first.
Yeah,
for,
you
the,
just,
for free.
a little bit of ass in the ass factory, and then pretty soon you're an ass man. And not an ass man in the normal way guys say they are, like, cute. They're like, oh, I'm an ass man. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get my ass eaten for a little bit. More like they're one of those guys that lives at the ass factory and that sells their soul to the gang.
Have you guys ever seen Mallrats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck and Mallrats would definitely have ended up living at the ass factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, because he was all about putting it in an uncomfortable place, and they were like in the back of a
Oh,
Volkswagen. Like, yeah, Buttman would definitely be at the ass factory. The asshole from Fashionable Mel.
So I'm assuming the starting off of the ass factory, was that just to like keep us interested if we're like a really bored male viewer of this? Because it was 8 minutes of silence, like 8 minutes of this dude just burning all this old Sons of Anarchy stuff that we don't know anything about.
It's really emotional.
Now, was that
pretty.
was that during the? We didn't talk about the actual intro of the show.
Intro, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So the show begins abruptly with Adam Raised a Cane by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. I like that song, not set to this.
Adam raised a cane.
The full song, by the way.
Yeah, the whole song.
This isn't abridged. Believe me, I've listened to that album enough times. I know there's not a second of that song missing from this. This is a full 4.5, damn near 5-minute music video to open this. Obviously, it's set in New Jersey. Is that correct?
It's set in
No,
California.
California.
That's right, it's set in California.
A town called Charming.
That's right, Charming, California.
Charming.
Okay, then honestly, I tried to like link it with like a New Jersey thing. I think we tried to do that early when we watched it the first time because for some reason we thought
I think
maybe
it's because
New
that lady
Jersey.
from The Sopranos, she I think they took her
Oh,
to the
yeah.
woods in New Jersey, and then somehow she came out in like sort of interior kind of country-ass California.
Yeah,
And then started the Sons of Anarchy.
She's
That's
like,
what we've gathered.
Christopher, and he's like, my name's not Christopher, so she adapted, got Beyonce hair,
Okay.
and now she does the laundry.
that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay, so we open with the Springsteen tune, and then after that, eventually we get to the opening credit sequence, which is maybe the worst modern opening credit sequence I've seen. I don't watch a lot of TV, but it is top tier bad.
What's the song they do?
it's remember the True Blood theme?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but slower and less like bad sexy. It's that.
But it did have the really cool tattoo effect,
Well,
though.
go talk about it.
Yeah, the tattoos that turn into like the produced by, and it's like a tattoo coming out of his tramp stamp.
Yeah, because a transition effect is extremely hard to do. So this is a mastery of CGI technology.
It's
To
kind of
take a
like
tattoo-
6 Feet Under with the Graves.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's exactly like an iconic theme song. It's perfect. It's a show. Trust me. Tattoos on the arms transition into off to the side. I was blown away. Okay.
You know, you talk about that, iconic openings. This is in no way, and it doesn't seem like they really tried to make it that, even though this is a show that it only lasted 7 seasons.
Well, it finished itself, though. That's a big point. Like
That's a point. That's
92 episodes done. They finished it. Like we can't do any more.
They completed the Jesus metaphor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Finally.
That's fine. But 7 seasons, this will not be a show that will go down in the books as any sort of iconic. No. It was a hit amongst guys into motorcycles and women into blonde guys on motorcycles. And it was on FX, and FX can kind of it can pretty much make whatever last as long as it wants to. I mean, look at Always Sunny.
Rescue Me.
Yeah, look at Rescue Me.
Yeah, it likes to be a little sassy, a little dark.
Yeah.
A little sexy in like a approachable way.
Yeah. But no, this the intro to this is no MASH or Taxi or insert any other show that's better than this. It's no Law and Order. It's
it's not even L Word.
Dude.
Girls in tight dresses.
Dude, it's not even Salute Your Shorts. Like
that's true. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, Salute Your Shorts and Are You Afraid of the Dark have infinitely more like iconic openings than this show, which lasted all of 7 years. Could.
I really hope that wasn't the theme song since the beginning, because I mean, just from the theme song itself, what can you gather from the show besides there are tattoos?
You gather there's a lot of Cain and Abel imagery, and it's like they're sons of anarchy, but they're also sometimes sons are brothers, or sometimes sons are fathers of sons, and then you see his body a lot. His body is a nice like underwear model body, and it's in some kind of artsy lighting, like there's a lot of like trailers and like kind of like office buildings that would be in strip mall off the side of a county road, like a lot of that lighting, and a lot of doing the laundry in tank tops, like, so there's kind of it's a sexy aesthetic and in like an Instagram way.
Yeah, it's there's no big surprise that the show was like a hit amongst the working class, because that's the whole backdrop of the show. In the mob, in a mafia type way.
And the Irish.
The
Irish mob.
Dude, the IRA are totally white trash. Like, it's like, they're white trash.
I don't think I would say that on air if I were.
Okay, fine. Then bleep that out.
We're gonna get exploded. Dude, the IRA is beast.
They're all over Twitter. Okay?
Wait, unless the U.S. government's listening, then the IRA is... I don't know her.
Okay, let's cut this whole IRA thing out.
I don't know her.
Yeah, I think cut the whole IRA thing out is probably what this episode... I mean, we didn't see anything before, granted, but it just felt thrown into just... I don't know if they were trying to, like, finish up a storyline that didn't, like, wrap up sooner or what. It was a mess.
I'm going to have to wager a guess that, they're probably wrapping up a storyline. It would be really random if, like, the IRA had never had dealings with them, and then all of a sudden they're there, and we're like, let's fucking kill these guys, because we're going out anyway. Fuck them.
Maybe they met on the dark web.
Why did I know you were going to say that? Like, I totally anticipated it.
It's the most plausible thing, but... It's probably not literally what happened.
I mean,
it's not the Chinese. It's not the Chinese.
Oliver just said they're all over Twitter, so they're clearly on the dark web.
Yeah, that Irish Twitter, dude. You gotta watch out.
Hashtag Irish Twitter?
Hashtag Irish Twitter.
Oh my gosh, we made it go viral.
Respect.
What have I done?
Is it called Twatter? Twatter.
See, they're really coming after you. You better watch out.
Oh my gosh.
And speaking of other things that I don't feel like they ended up well, but we didn't watch the show, of course. But the whole relationship between the police sheriff woman and the toupee man, Chibs, I think his name, the Scarface. The whole relationship, I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was this really sexy cop.
Oh yeah.
She was like really hot, and it's like, oh hey, hot cop. But you knew she was kind of a bad girl because she was butting heads with that district attorney who's like that actress.
Who's the only good actress in the entire show.
What's her name?
That's CCH Pounder.
CCH Pounder.
What a great porn name. Like, oh my god.
Yep, I mean, she's definitely
and you know
a
what?
force
And you know what? And
to be reckoned with.
It's absolutely appropriate because she fucks over everybody in this show by being so much more charismatic and so much more talented than any of the main fucking white fucking token characters.
Well, she's like
any of them.
a senior like presence in television. Like, what other shows has she been on?
Law and Order,
She's been
maybe?
on Law and Order for
Yeah,
over 10
she
years.
shows up on Law and Order.
She's been a little part of everything.
She's
I don't know.
formidable. She knows how to play a bitchy lawyer, and when she walks into the room, she just
commands it.
Yeah.
Owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she owns the room. So she owned this little bitch who is a cop, who's a bad cop, who's with the guy with the scar on his face.
Yeah, Chibs.
The vice president.
Oh, yeah, who becomes the president.
Spoiler.
Spoilers. But I feel like they even mention that they're retreading whenever she's like, I can't do this anymore, okay? We can't keep doing this. Well, I'm going to blackmail you. And we're just retreading over the same stuff. Like, I guess it's good for us because we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
That they're retreading. But I feel like there should be way more consequences to this relationship.
Because she's sort of like, well, I'm just going to be a cop and you're just going to be a bad guy. And that's going to be that. And we're going to do what we have to do. And I'm like, honey, it doesn't like work that way when you're fucking the mob. I mean, you saw what happened to that girl who's like Christopher on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And then she disappeared for several years and reappeared in California on this other show.
Yeah, do you want to reappear in a worse show?
Reappear on a worse show than the one you got killed off?
And dude, on basic cable.
On basic cable.
On basic cable.
No offense to
Get
FX.
basicer.
This is with all love. But I mean, you got to feel bad for a girl who like got murdered in a New Jersey HBO land and woke up in FX.
One day she's hanging out with fucking Tony Soprano. What's his name? He's dead now. I'm having a brain fart.
Oh my god, rest in peace.
Why are we all having brain farts in this guy?
It's the same brain fart, yeah.
It's the same brain fart. It's going around. I feel like we keep passing it
We're
around.
human centipeding this brain fart around.
Oh god! Somewhere, if anyone's listening, they're saying, screaming the name,
They're yelling at
and
you.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely
Well, we could be like Dora the Explorer. Like, you know his name.
Yeah, you guys know.
Pause.
But anyway, so she got
Okay.
thrown into the woods and she left and she had Tony Soprano, and when she came back she had not Judas, and she was just like, what the fuck? Like, wow, the quality of thespian has certainly dropped off on the white trash basic cable show.
Well, like, I feel like for her, the quality of life, because she used to, like, she had kind of money and a lot of jewelry when she was on The Sopranos.
That
and
is
now
so true.
This is all, like, trailers and awkward bad lighting and Beyonce weave and doing the laundry. Like, she does the laundry so much more than she did on The Sopranos.
Never did it on the Sopranos. I don't think
Because they were,
laundry
like,
scene.
laundering money, so she didn't have to do any laundry.
See, this is why you don't snitch on the Sopranos. This is what happens. You end up on Sons of Anarchy every time.
You have to do that boy's laundry.
I mean, it's 100% true. Oh god.
She is great, though. I feel like she could be... Does anyone know her name? She could be like a next Edie Falco.
I don't know her name.
I just burped. I'm gonna say that again for editing. I just burped, you guys, really gross. Like, I feel like she could be the next like Edie Falco.
You mean like a stable relationship with the mafia boss, or just Edie Falco in general?
Both.
Oh, okay, both.
I feel like she could wake up at a show where she plays Edie Falco's character.
All right,
in
guys.
Sopranos.
News report. James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
James Gandolfini, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Died tragically of a heart attack.
And he actually died. He didn't just die on a TV show.
Yeah. Well, he didn't just did he die on a TV show?
He like actually died.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Nothing Jesus about it.
Don't stop believing.
Christopher.
Christopher.
Okay, let's Jesus's problem. I guess we can go back to Jesus's problem. Was that his wife is dead?
His mom killed her.
Yeah, but the mom blamed the Chinese, okay? This was a
Okay.
whole thing. Apparently the sons were in a war with the Chinese that weren't going. We never saw the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese. I don't know what the Chinese
The
did
Chinese
nothing.
were not involved. That was the
Not involved.
official thing that blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus said. The Chinese were not involved. This
Not
was just
involved.
family killing family.
He didn't apologize. He didn't make an official apology to the Chinese community, but
The Chinese were not involved.
Not involved.
We will not boycott China or Israel.
Not Israel. Do not boycott Israel. Okay,
Hashtag NSA, we're okay.
Okay, I guess jump into Jesus. Like, okay, this was a big question I had actually. The scene between Jesus and the terrific DA actress. How is he able? He's a criminal. He's a son. They are bad people. They are murderers. They are gun dealers. They are drug dealers. They are porno makers. Like,
They own a booty factory.
a booty factory. How is he able to just waltz up into the DA's office and be like, "Hey, record this conversation. I don't have time to write it down." Like, he's a bad dude. Like, he was wanted with an APV. I don't know.
Do you think she might be like a little bit crooked? Like kind of in a righteous Hillary Clinton way?
Yeah.
You know? And then he's kind of hot. Like I felt so much sexual tension, like more so than anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
Even those scenes that were just like his abs and then tattoos coming out of them would be like sound edited by Greg. He was even hotter than that. Just them together in like this shady room because they meet in like little office, like little shitty offices with like lots of beige, you know, fucked up file cabinets. And those blinds that are kind of crooked, and so the lights all crooked, all the crooked blind lights, like, oh, I'm gonna tell you this thing, and I'm a criminal, but you're gonna let me do it. And she's like,
I'm recording all of this.
I can make you my bitch, but I'd rather just listen to you squeal.
Yeah, she's out acting him while saying nothing. Okay, she's that amazing.
But he's like the casting couch babe, so like he doesn't have to be a great actor. He just got to be like,
sexy looks.
I'm sexy. I'm wearing my Redwood original vest over my
Abercrombie
flannel
Jesus.
shirt.
Did either of you look up what the fuck Redwood original means?
Okay, I assume because it's the Redwood Charter of the Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
It's a very, very strict ruling in these charters. And I figure he meant, like, Redwood were the original branch of the Sons of Anarchy. This is where it started.
Or he's one of the originals that began the Redwood. There you go.
I thought he was just like sponsoring a brand of like hickory barbecue chips. Like, I'm this guy in the Sons of Anarchy, this gang that's in the booty business. And if you go to my booty website, you're going to see a lot of ads for Redwood Original.
And when I get tired, I eat Redwood Original chips of bacon. Yeah.
It takes so long to cook your meat, you can look at all the booty videos or go to the booty warehouse.
I think that's one of my favorite things about the way we watch these shows. Well, actually, the way we don't watch these shows is that we really can just piece this together and believe whatever we want to believe. We're never going to go back and watch another episode of the show. I'm assuming. I know we aren't as a unit, but I'm never going to.
I would rather kill myself.
I would literally.
I'd rather kill myself by running a motorcycle into a truck.
I would rather blow my brains out in front of my only child. I don't have a kid yet, so I can't do it. But I would rather do that than have to stomach another 60 minutes of this. Because this was, like I said before, I've watched a lot of bad. This movie, I keep wanting to call it a movie because it's like a television film. Like a television movie, TV movie. Mm-hmm. It was so much more boring than any series finale ever should be. There should be action. People should be crying all over the goddamn place. There should be something that even if you've never seen the show but you just stumbled upon it, where you can be like, I can see this is really...
Or like some self-referential jokes, you know?
Yeah, something that kind of you can sink your teeth into and just get a feel for, like, they seem really happy. This seems like other than the Jesus martyring at the end of it, other than that, every bit of this seems like a normal episode of any, like...
confusing dumb shit. Feels like Miami Vice.
Yeah, any crime, drama, corny, like, cornball bullshit type show. This is just an episode, and then your main character offs himself in a traffic accident.
The chase scene. Yeah, the chase scene was totally out of it. That's just like... I mean, 15 minutes in, you can kind of almost accept the seriousness, but then out of nowhere, an IRE guy shoots, and then it's like, I can't help falling in love with you.
It's a rock version of Fools Rush In. and it's really, really bad.
The whole thing is a rock music video. It's like Beyonce for white guys that only know how to do covers. Like, it's like Lemonade for that set.
Yeah, what would
It's
you call it
just
though? Sweet tea?
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
It's sweet tea.
Sweet tea mixed with Pabst Blue Ribbon and like the 4 chords we know, because every sequence, okay, you'll have a music video, like the opening where it's like established that he's like fucking this chick and he has these symbolic tattoos and he's got abs and he's getting up to do something and he sets a bunch of stuff on fire. Then we're at the booty factory and it's like, we work at a booty factory. At some point, like after that, like there's a lot of talking in these sort of warehouse spaces, kind of similar like to the British show Luther, where it's like it's London, but London is completely made out of abandoned warehouses and corridors between their witch.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that, and a lot of little like shitty office spaces that you would rent for like $200 in the middle of nowhere. And then, like I said, Irishman gets shot, and then suddenly, bam, fucking car chase. Car chase!
Boring car chase. I mean, just like, oh, this guy's going this way around a car, but these motorcycles are going this way around a car. Oh, they're weaving around traffic again. Okay, now let's go into a warehouse and end it.
This show is, this episode aired in 2014, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
December 10th, I think.
What proves that this show was not truly the motherfucker juggernaut, like, cultural phenomenon that I think some people think it was, is that this last episode, not much of a budget. No. Not much of a budget at all.
Yeah, like the editing at the end seriously looked like one of those early Stephen King movies.
TV movies.
Yeah,
TV
like the
movies.
one where it's like the guy's mom is a cat and he's also fucking his mom.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. Or
Okay.
like the Langoliers. Like,
Or like,
I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna draw the Langoliers on top of the film.
just to go ahead and jump towards like, that last shot it's a very quick shot of Jesus with his arms stretched, with his back to the camera, but his front towards the truck. That looks awful, and there's a reason they edited that like super quick, because you get a long enough shot to go, ugh.
That's Photoshop. That's not real.
Yeah, it actually looks like they did a composite.
Yeah.
It's like when they
made his arms sexier too. They photoshopped the whole thing, you guys.
We talked about this on the other podcast I do, because there was some movie where it seemed very obvious that they had done like a photo composite, and they did do that in a movie that I know for a fact. Wagons East or Wagons West, I can't remember what it's called. It's the last movie John Candy did. He died before it came out, and they composited him from one scene like earlier in the movie to another scene
so
later
he's like
on.
The Crow.
But here's the thing, they didn't take the other scene out. There are literally 2 scenes in the movie with him doing the exact same thing, and the second one is extremely obvious. And this was that kind of bad CG deal where it just looked like they took 2 pictures and went bloop. Kind of like Lee Harvey Oswald again, JFK. Lee Harvey Oswald, the way his head was obviously it seems like it was put over the body with the rifle that was on Life magazine.
Yeah, they should have gone hardcore, like, horror gore for it. Like,
Yeah, dude.
We should have seen it. Like, have y'all ever seen the documentary, like, Something's Wrong with Aunt Diane?
No.
It's an HBO documentary about this mom who's just, like, one day, like, no one knows she's an alcoholic who smokes joints all the time. She's just really good at being secret. She's a perfectly normal mom, perfect family. And then one day coming up from a camping trip, she's just, like, drunk out of her gourd, has had like the equivalent of 10 drinks from a bottle of vodka in the back, and like smoked a joint at a rest stop. And she's driving all the kids home, and she gets on the wrong side of the road. Everybody dies. But like the juggernaut of that movie is like at one point very quickly, because it's a very sensitive movie to her, but at one point very quickly they just show the image, like what her body looked like right after.
Wow.
And it's like, that's what they should have done if they're going to crush Jesus.
What's her name?
Her name is Diane Schuler or something.
Ooh.
The movie's called There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane. It's on YouTube.
I'll have to check that out. It sounds grisly and terrifying, much like the bridge one you were telling me about.
Oh yeah, The Bridge. Oh yeah, I watched horrible stuff. And this wasn't even as horrible as that. Like, as much as those shows haunt my dreams, it's like, I feel like this haunts the boredom part of my, like, censor for sexy guys. Because there were some there was just images of that main guy's abs. He wasn't really sexy. There was Catman.
There was the Catman. Can't deny Catman.
Let's talk about Catman.
Let's talk about Catman. What else can we say about Catman? He's gonna be there.
For both of you, I want you to, obviously the listener, you can't see this, but we'll describe it very quickly. I was talking about the Sheriff of Nottingham thing. Both of you guys look directly in the middle there. Look at him.
Hello.
Yeah.
He does look like him.
He does.
Okay, yeah. That is...
It's spot on.
We need to do a remake and get our boy Catman on it.
Yeah. Eventually they will remake Robin Hood because it's one of those characters that Hollywood just won't let fucking die. It's peaked, and it was called Men in Tights.
It's Dave Chappelle and that other dude.
Yeah, Carrie Ellis, and yeah.
Is there any positive things that you guys can say about the episode that we saw?
Well, positives. I really like "Darkness on the Edge of Town" by Bruce Springsteen. So "Adam Raised a Cain" was it started off strong for me. I was like, I dig that song. That's like the most. I said when we watched it, that's the prototype for every Danzig song ever. And Springsteen doesn't get quite the credit for being the Danzig inspiration, both from New Jersey. Makes sense. Also, that ass in the beginning was like, that was like a total mom ass. It was like super like... It
was really real, and we saw a lot of it, but it wasn't too much. It was like in the corner. It was incidental.
But like that G-string was barely there.
And that woman was just giving it, 110%.
Very convenient table to put an ass on someone else's face, I'd have to say. Not many tables are suitable for...
Yeah,
I think it was built for that purpose.
It was built for that purpose.
Is that Diane Schuler?
Oh my gosh, that's Diane Schuler. You know what? I realized today while I was driving that... Because I'd watched a little bit of that documentary again, but didn't want to watch the whole thing because I didn't want to have nightmares. Because the first time I saw it years ago, that freaked me out. But then I realized it's like, I remember that image freaking me out. I didn't remember what it looked like, so I'm glad you showed me. Now I'm desensitized.
I'm so... Oh no, this is way worse.
Is that it? That's not that bad.
It's like...
I imagined her having like no face. Maybe it's after you like see all of her family desperately denying that she's an alcoholic, and then you're like, oh, this is terrifying. It's so much truth.
In case you can't tell, when we were talking about the positives of the show, we were talking about images of a dead woman. And before we were talking about Sopranos, two things you should probably
there was a dead woman.
Watch.
Who was the dead woman?
Dead woman, I think, was the mom killed by the son, possibly? We didn't even watch the recap,
like, she looked like she could be 40 or 20.
I'd say the positive, I do have a positive about this. It had a good setup. I noticed this at the beginning whenever they're having their first round meeting of the Sons. I was like, wow, these guys are strict. Like, they're following a lot of rules because there's the new member and they're like, you can't join office until you've been in for a year.
Yeah, there's a lot of bureaucracy and paperwork.
Yeah, and there's like chapters and everything. There's presidents and vice presidents. I don't know if there's a historian or anything taking pictures, but who knows? And then...
It's not really anarchy, is it?
It's not. And you're like, these are motorcycle bad boys. What's going on?
The son of anarchy is bureaucracy.
But then they switched it around because there's a rule. You can't leave the Sons of Anarchy alive, I think possibly is the rule. So they're going to have to kill Jesus because he's trying to bail on them and Charming and his boys.
So essentially it's White Boy Death Row Records.
Yeah, essentially. And so he's going to bail. And they're like, all right, we're going to kill you, dude. And... they did a little last-second switcheroo and just shot a bro's arm instead. Because, it's just a bro's arm. They heal. It's all good. And Jesus gets to live because they're bad boys, but they love each other.
Yeah, it's like how, church doesn't have to do exorcisms anymore. We can do little things to stand in for, the crazy, deadly beliefs we used to have.
Yeah.
Like, we could do picket signs instead of, killing everybody.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I guess, relative to killing, I guess picketing signs with the whole, fag hate stuff. I guess that's it's okay compared to killing. Like
T-shirts, not running over human beings with your car.
Yeah. God, I hate all these.
That won't even fit on a sign, but it's like, goddamn. Like, if you're gonna do freedom of speech, just talk amongst yourselves.
This just doing this for the little bit of time that we have, the fact that we've already gotten political and shown our obvious sides on this is amazing, and it proves that it's not just me and the other two people that I record a podcast with. No one can keep our mouth shut about this.
Hashtag biased.
Yeah.
Hashtag I think their podcast is pretty good, and it's good for a freshman start, but they're just kind of biased. I just wish they would get to the jokes about butts and Jesus. I'm just in it for the theology. So what about the theology? Has anyone actually read the Bible?
No, I feel like I've read the Bible after I saw this episode, though, in a strange way. And Hamlet.
And Hamlet, yeah, and Hamlet.
I've read Hamlet in high school. I don't really remember a lot of it.
Yeah.
And the thing
I read
about
15-minute Hamlet.
yeah, and the thing about I was way more into Macbeth, but I was 17.
That's what she said.
And have I read the Bible? It's hard to say. Have I sat and read it page to page? No, but I spent 2 years at like a crazy Christian school, and it was a fucking lark, and it was hilarious. I was there on 9/11, which was fucking awesome, because those people lost their goddamn mind. They genuinely believed, oh my God, we were right. We Americans were attacked. Not this thing that happens every goddamn day in the Middle East. Every goddamn day people die in mass. But because it happened to us, our apple pie went slightly of one piece of the apple pie. Exactly. One piece of the apple pie got rotten, and we all fucking lost it. So that was like the one good thing. And I learned Bible verses at the Christian school. You know, not that I remember any of them. I used to be able to recite the Christian. There's a Christian pledge. I want you to know this. There's a pledge to the Bible too. Goddamn it!
What kind of Christian were you? Because I was brought up in Catholic town.
Fucking non-denominational Baptist type shit.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it was like I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word, something, and it's like, oh, it's awful. But I used to be able to remember that stuff because me and my buddies we cracked up so hard. Because we all thought it was hilarious. I've been an atheist since I was really, I guess 9, 10. And as soon as my mind said, I started reading the Bible, and it was like, I was so into like dinosaurs because we were kids like during the Jurassic Park era of like where there's no this. You're not giving me this, but you're giving me this. It read like The Hobbit to me. And that was a book that I'd read when I was a kid.
Fake.
Yeah, very like, well, the trees are talking, basically.
And then the rules are real weird. Like, if I was going to make up, like, the Ten Commandments, if I was going to make up, I mean, I get some of them, and they're cool. But it's like, if I was going to make up commandments. Yeah. Not that I think I'm God. I don't think I'm God, you guys.
You totally think you're God. Like,
you guys.
Genevieve, you're just as much God to me as God.
I'm almost the same size as Jesus.
You're probably a lot taller. If the guy was a man, you're probably a lot taller than him.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta remember that.
I don't know if you are taller than Jesus. He looked pretty tall on the show. I don't know.
Now, what about... Okay,
which one?
So
Sons of Anarchy.
This show is blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. And, people they joke about a lot how our idea of Jesus from our various educations, he's kind of a lot more light-skinned than Jesus historically would be, coming from where he comes from at the time he was from. People call that blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. But if you really look at the Renaissance art, he's like more of a brunette with maybe like hazel eyes. It's like he could be like a quarter Italian and like 1/16 from where Jesus is actually from. He doesn't really have blonde-haired, blue eyes. But this guy, this Jesus, definitely, he is blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus, like for real.
Now, who can we blame for blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus? American painters or Nazi Germany?
Well, he's not really blonde-haired, blue eyes. He's like
dirty blonde.
He's a brunette.
No. But I promise you, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus is definitely a thing. I mean, I've seen that in many paintings. Again, going to school, seeing it in books, that has been a thing for at least 60 or 70 years.
Like an illustration thing.
Yeah.
The same way we got our modern Santa Claus.
Okay, because of the colors?
Yeah, illustration trends from a certain time, a little less than a century ago.
It's also about what colors you have and what colors you don't have.
Probably also racism created blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. Nazi Germany
Catholicism does not have like the iconography is like brunette Jesus.
Yeah.
Like he looks maybe. I'm not going to get into what he looks like, but
Catholics are always doing things a little different.
He looks like he's from like northern Italy, maybe.
No, he's from charming California.
He's from charming California. He's blonde hair, he's blue eyes, he's got tattoos.
Dick on a motorcycle who stands for nothing and leaves his kids. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
He left his.
Yeah, he leaves his kids.
He left Cain and Thomas.
Wait, who's Abel?
Oh wait, Abel. Sorry, I got him mixed
anyone,
up. Abel and Thomas.
Anyone who's
Who's Cain?
None of them. That's just
Wait, which one ate the other one?
Whoa, this is a Bible thing? Or are you talking about the show? Because I missed that if it was in the show.
No, because Cain and Abel, not Abe. I'm thinking about...
No, Cain killed Abel.
Killed him, yeah.
Cain
Because
killed
we
Abel.
used to have, like, pet gerbils named Cain and Abel because they would attack each other and
Oh my
try to kill
God.
each other. That's what I thought.
I love your family.
They were trying to eat...
I love your family.
Cain is trying to eat Abel.
For anyone listening who obviously doesn't know the Murdocks, the Murdocks are the, again, I always say this, but it's so easy, and everyone who knows Harry Potter gets it. They are the Weasleys of Mobile. They are a big family, and they are delightful and amazing. And they would name their gerbils Cain and Abel and watch them rip each other into pieces. It's awesome.
All right,
It's great.
I guess
Death.
before we jump to the ending... Oh yeah, back to the sons. He gave away the sons because he thought he was too much of a dick. He was like, when they grow up, tell them I'm a super dick. Okay? Like,
Yeah, they're
I'm
like,
Batman.
just tell him to Google me.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want his sons to be sons of anarchy, so he's trying to de-son his sons.
Why would he give them the fucking rings then?
Yeah, that was a
Because the
bad
rings are
choice.
really cool, and they're
Yeah.
probably haunted.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, did he give him the rings? Because I remember at the beginning he left some rings on the tombstone of his wife, but was it the of anarchy part or was it the son's part? Did he give the son's part to his son? Because he's
The
like,
sons
I can
probably
correlate
visited
words.
the mom's grave before they went, on their trip.
I can correlate words.
So yeah, that means Abel is like super evil. He's gonna fuck up his life and become a son against his dad's wishes. But before,
Dude, he named him Abel.
yeah, he fucked up in the
Like,
start.
yeah.
Thomas is gonna live a great life. He's gonna be like solving cancer.
He's gonna be like
and
Thomas the
everything
Train.
else. He's gonna be a train that solves cancer, while the other one is a son of anarchy. But before we jump to the ending and just fully inspect that, are there any morals you guys gained from this whole episode or experience in general?
What they want you to believe, to feel, other than the whole God thing, is that no matter who you are and what you do, you can't truly run away from the wrongs that you do, and that you have to accept it and commit suicide to get over it.
End it. And I think part of it was him ending his white privilege, right? Because he shoots so many people in broad daylight and nothing happens. And then he
Shoot that
spends
police officer.
an entire music video span of time being like, I'm on a motorcycle. I shot at the police and ran away. And he does that for like a long time and no one shoots him down. And it's because he is white.
He's white.
He's like
And he's Jesus.
ultimate white.
Fuckers.
So it's like he gets to end his life his own way. And so I just feel like he's like, I'm going to punish myself for that. I have to give myself, I'm part of the system. I'm a victim of the system. I'm forcing my kids to be a victim of the system. I'm fucking my family, my like mom killed my baby mama or something. So I have to just like sacrifice myself. It's like the white male guilt plunge into the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the moral.
Because no one was going to kill him otherwise. Like, they were going to nicely arrest him, put him in the back of the car. He was, he was going to have a lot of pen pals. They were going to let him put out art. He was going to get his own special section in the, in jail for life thing.
San Quentin, probably.
Yeah, he was going to be fine. He was going to make a lot of friends, a lot of boyfriends.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He was going to...
It's like Barbie doll.
He was going to explore.
Yeah, he was shooting some sex faces at everyone was shooting sex faces everywhere. It
That was
hard
about
to
his
dodge.
only move, is like, I can sit on a crate and make plans. Occasionally I'll shoot you, but only if it's mostly my guys around.
Yeah, any of the sons that didn't say anything, they were purely there to shoot sex faces. That's it. And maybe shoot an Irish person.
Shoot
And-
sex faces, shoot Irish people.
And occasionally have an Irish accent.
Oh yeah, when the more around Irish people they were, the more everyone talked like they were Irish. I could not keep a grip on.
At
who was
first he would be
Irish,
like,
who was not.
I'm blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus. And it would be like, hey, where's O'Connor?
Arr.
Arr.
Here's a question. Are
Lucky Charms.
are any of those main actors Irish?
Who's actually Irish? I feel like that guy with the little,
I think the
Pushkin
Irish guys,
face.
the Irish guys are probably actually Irish.
Are any of them actually bikers? Have any of them ridden a bike at all before this, or over 20 miles per hour?
I'm going to wager that at least some of them had.
I hope. Maybe the ones that didn't talk because they're like, you guys aren't really great actors on top of this. Well, none of them were, so maybe they all were.
What was
bikers.
Oliver? What was Catface's name?
Tig.
Catman?
Or Tiggy.
was that his biker name?
I'm assuming it's going to be his IMDb
Is it
name.
Tiggy
I don't know.
Azalea?
His name was Tig Traeger.
It's definitely
it's
not
even
Tig
worse.
Notaro because she's a comedian who's cool.
Tig Notaro. Shout out.
My personal
She's
moral.
a survivor.
Oh, she is. My personal moral from this is being the Jesus of something is not as difficult as it may seem. Because before this episode, I don't think he was Jesus. I think he was just maybe Hamlet and JFK, not Jesus.
I think he was either Cain or Abel. I think they're really flexible with their biblical metaphors.
I think they were just giving him as many identities as possible. But do you guys want to jump right into the ending of it?
The ending. All right, so the ending.
The ending. Okay, there's some stuff that I know that you guys
Well, yeah,
don't
he
know,
just starts
actually.
shooting people, right?
Well, I'm talking about just straight up on the motorcycle. Yeah, after he just shoots like a dude at a
we
bakery.
completely forgot. He shoots the guy at the bakery. He shoots this. Okay, so first he starts randomly shooting. It sort of builds up like, I'm going to shoot a couple of Irish people in this boring scene after so much dialogue. And whenever they're in a conference room afterwards, they're like, thump, 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 hurrah, rah, rah. And it's like, you guys work in like an office park off of a dirt road.
Yeah.
Like, really? And then he starts shooting Irishmen in warehouses, like kind of two bad two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After exposition. And then he decides, I'm going to break bad and just start shooting people. First in, like, he shoots some guy in a bakery.
He shoots RoboCop.
She's a RoboCop in a
Yeah.
bakery.
Shoots Peter Weller. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're,
She's a bodyguard and a lawyer at a courthouse.
Yeah, the lawyer was most intense because that's like he's on the step of a courthouse. He's got a thing over his head. And then he jumps out of the thing. He's like, hurrah! Bam! And then long pause. Bam, bam, bam. He's like, boom, boom, boom. And then he gets to run away.
Easily run away.
Hashtag white privilege.
And because we haven't seen any episode previously, I'm just going to say it was racially motivated.
I mean,
because I want people to hate.
We talked about it when we watched it the first time around. He's living his life like he is in Grand Theft Auto.
He is, yeah,
Yeah.
but like a prettier version. I
don't know. GTA 5 was quite pretty,
yeah.
especially on PS4. Ooh, yeah.
Kind of a more like Jonathan Taylor Thomas version of Grand
Okay,
Theft Auto.
there you go.
Just a little bit like boy crazy ideal. This is Grand Theft Auto for women.
Oh, yeah.
Or for like horny women.
Yeah.
I
Women
mean,
that
I
want
can
to make
see
all
that.
the characters stepdads.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of daddies and a bunch of Jesus figures.
Hey, Oliver, here's a fact for you. Did you know that the actor who played Tig actually did star as Macbeth?
Oh, wow.
I
It's
called
full
it.
circle.
Yep.
Full circle, guy.
I
Full
knew he was a
circle.
Shakespearean actor. He has that face.
He starred in the lead role of Macbeth, performed at the Stratford Shakespeare Festival. He is also from Saskatchewan. He's Canadian.
He's also obviously the bad guy in the show, even though
He's the
There's
most emotional guy on
no
the show.
proof of that. He just looks like the bad guy. I just don't trust him.
Yeah, not at all. He's too mysterious. It's too not a biker for my taste.
His hair is like so fluffy.
So how could this show even end for Sons of Anarchy? How are they going to end it? This is how many episodes? This is 7 seasons, 92 episodes. How could they end it?
I feel like the whole show has just been a bunch of dumb like feud plot lines and honor and a bunch of like Miami Vice style really long exposition.
Tig was also on Miami Vice.
Oh god.
I
Full
called
circle,
it.
guys. Full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle. Dude, Illuminati proof.
Proof.
Dude,
Right there.
Beyonce, Rocka. Rocka.
But
Rocka.
I feel like for me, at first I thought the whole ending episode was really dumb, but then when I rewatched just the ending, I started to think like, well, I guess if I'm a middle-aged woman who took a bunch of English classes and I've been masturbating to this show once a week through half the year for like 7 years, and I also took some theology courses at one point a long time ago.
Or just went to church.
It's like, I could see how this would be satisfying as like sort of a denouement of like a long masturbation session.
God, Jesus is hot, y'all.
Jesus is hot and Jesus is dead. But then right after Jesus dies, I really want it to be like, whatever happened, like what's wrong with Aunt Diane shot of that, just like gore shot of Jesus. And instead of like the blood with the bread, because the whole breaking bread.
Is that also on YouTube?
What?
The What Happened to Aunt Diane?
Yeah.
Holy shit, you find the craziest shit on YouTube.
I know. I'm unemployed.
I guess, yeah.
I'm a real loser.
You know, it's funny. It's funny. You say that you're a real loser and unemployed. I'm the one who found like random ass home movies from like 1990 around here in town where we live. Like just because like you fall down that hole far enough and you're like, oh my god, that's somebody I know right now when they were 19 and I wasn't even born. Like Jesus Christ.
Jesus,
you guys. Jesus talks to... Okay, first off, do you guys know why? Have any idea why it would end with him smacking into the front of a truck? There's actually a reason for this.
Does his dad die that way?
Exactly. 20 years prior.
He's a son of Anarchy.
He's a full circle thing, you guys. Full circle.
Hashtag son.
Full circle.
Like
Hashtag full
father,
circle.
like son. Doesn't fall far from the tree.
Doesn't fall far from the tree.
You know what? Like, at least, like, thank you for telling me that.
Yeah.
That actually, that does tie it together in a way that we obviously would have never known.
No.
Because we watched it again, that last week we watched it, that first sitting, and yeah, you're answering a lot more questions than I really expected you to, and I'm really happy that you came to this. Like, and I really like the way that the podcast is kind of laid out. We watch it, and then you find out some information, and you can kind of pop in the fill in some of the gaps. Obviously, you're not going to be able to fill all of these.
I'm not going to watch these episodes. No,
we're not going to watch any of this.
No.
Come on, and you shouldn't either.
No,
unless you've already watched it.
If you've come this far and you're just like right before the last episode, I guess. I've actually read like interviews that say that the episode before the last episode was the better episode, so I can't even suggest it really.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It probably was, because this was pretty damn bad.
If you need to finish, just, yeah.
I mean, if you need to finish masturbating, just rewind the tape.
That's such a Howie Mandel joke.
Howie Mandel?
Howie Mandel.
Which is a reference to our friend Trey Lane's movie, which may or may not come out.
I think it's going to come out.
I think is it about to drop?
I don't know if it's about to drop, but he did that trailer, and then he did an update on it later on that was basically saying...
Well, I'll go ahead and promote Trey Lane. I have this line where I'm like, this is not deal or no deal. I'm not Howie Mandel.
I totally forgot about that. That's what happens when you're fucked up and record every scene that you film that way. Like, because were we sober at all?
Well, no, it was actually the middle of the morning, and where I got my accent was I had watched.
Yeah, I was definitely not sober. Still.
I had listened to an interview with Yanni, what does he play? I play some kind of instrument, and I fucked a rich woman, and now I'm famous. Now I'm on NPR, and like he had this accent that was like pseudo Russian or something. So I just did that accent.
I feel like everyone did some kind of different accent with like every single scene, like because I know I did some kind of weird accent in the first day. I don't remember. I told you I was fucked up, but I know I did something. I don't want us to sound like a bunch of drug addicts on this podcast, but you know
we're
what?
Cool. But it's a good movie. Trey Lane's movie.
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Thanks for Nothing.
From Mobile, Alabama or something?
No, just from Thanks for Nothing. Thanks for Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a movie. We're not sure what it's about. But...
That was the whole point. It was a movie that he filmed and gave us the information that we needed, but the majority of the movie was improv. He basically gave us an idea and said, say some shit, and that's pretty much it. And if he had some lines he wanted you to hit, he would give you to you, and if not...
Just see the movie.
Yeah, see the movie.
Anyway, so back to Jesus.
Back to Jesus. I'm going to go ahead and
the reason for the season.
Jesus' final words, okay? He says this to a wall, which is his dad, because his dad wrote on the wall, and therefore his dad is a rock. Trust me, it makes sense.
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson is in this show. He made a little cameo. Anyway, he says to the rock, while sitting on his motorcycle with his cigarette, that he's not smoking. It's lit, but he's not smoking. Just don't worry. I think the struggle I understand best, even more than all the things you wanted for Sam Crow. All we eventually became. The one I feel the most is the war of the mind. It happens when you try to get right with both family and Patch. That fear and guilt crippled me. I realized, as I think you did, a good father and a good outlaw can't settle inside the same man. It was too late for me. I was already inside it. And Gemma, that's his mom. That's the stupidest mom name I've ever heard in my life.
What's her name? Gamma?
Gemma.
Gemma?
Gemma. She had plans. It's not too late for my boys. I promise. They will never know this life of chaos. I know who you are now and what you did. I love you, Dad. And there you have it. 7 seasons, 92 episodes, all to realize it's daddy issues. Daddy issues and slightly mommy issues, too. That's what we get, and I guess we can imitate the last scene for it. You want to be Jesus? And I could be the truck driver, and you could be the music?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Riding down the road. Jesus is coming at it, riding down, and I'm just... It's a normal day for me. I mean,
he did shoot at the police. You did do that.
Oh yeah, you did. Jesus.
But the police didn't shoot you. They just kept chasing you.
They didn't shoot you back. And I'm from the Shield. What am I doing here? I am from the Shield, and now I'm a truck driver. This is crazy. What is that up ahead? Is there police ahead? This is crazy. Oh my! What is? Whoa! He's lifting up his. Oh! Jesus! That's the last word of it. Literally, Jesus.
The truck driver is like, Jesus! And then he hits him, but his arms are extended. I don't know if you could see this over, our sir over here, Flash's gesturations.
He's doing a great
I don't know
job,
if you could feel them in
truly.
his grunting, but he was
Jesus
grunting outward with arms wide open.
Under the sunlight.
And the Shield guy is just having a bad day. About to hit Jesus.
Yeah, he's like, Jesus, I'm gonna hit Jesus.
I'm gonna kill Jesus.
And do you see how many cops come out for that? It's like he's like the OJ of white guys. We're just gonna be real nice taking him down. You know, OJ's a murderer. This guy just shot a guy on courthouse steps in broad daylight and like killed all the Irish. And we're just gonna let him mosey on, and we're all gonna put all our men on it. We're gonna shut down LA or whatever that highway was. And they all hands on deck to bring white Jesus down gently.
And then they're like I feel like Scott Stapp was the great inspiration for the it's funny you bring that up. I feel like he was a great inspiration for the end of this episode. You know, it's the if I had just one wish, only one demand, it would hope he's not like me, and I hope he understands. You know, about his son. You know, he understands what happens and he's not like him. Creed, man.
Alright, and I guess I forgot all about this. There's some words from the executive producer in an interview. I just think this is a funny little excerpt from an E-Online interview. E-Online, by the way, loved the finale and the show Sons of Anarchy. And they asked, Paris Barclay, I think is his name, what surprised you most about how fans feel about the finale? And he said, what surprised me most is when they disliked it. What I hear in their voice is largely the sadness of losing these characters. That's not it. And their expectation that Jack would die, Jesus, and their disappointment that that's what would actually happen.
It's just like Harry Potter, you guys.
Just like Hamlet. I want to reach out to them and say, yo, what we're writing here is a tragedy. It's always been a tragedy in the Shakespearean or Greek sense. It has to end tragically.
This is kind of like Paramount saying, oh, we stand by Mother completely because we want to make weird shit just like YouTube and Netflix. I'm going to be weird too.
And he says, I knew that it wasn't going to end up at a carnival with Jack's buying some snow cones for his sons, and that was going to be the last shot. I always knew this was going to end badly.
Yeah, that would be like The Sopranos.
That would be like a better ending. But
it would be a better ending.
Yeah. Just see him be a good dad. He's kind of just being a dick dad for no reason.
Yeah.
But
it's because he's still a son.
Oh, he's still a son.
All my bitches is
up.
my sons.
Well, any closing words for this? Are you guys having other points?
I just feel like the Jesus metaphor has become a toxic masculinity in television because
I completely
it's
agree.
everywhere and it's fucking boring.
Not only
talked about it.
Not only is it fucking boring, but it's absolutely 100% impossible for anyone to look up to or follow or try to emulate without literally killing themselves or at very least making everyone around you want to fucking kill you.
The only thing that pulled it off was like the finale of Breaking Bad, like the way Jesse was kind of a Jesus, but he was a Jesus in more like a rebirth sort of way.
It was so subtle.
It was so subtle, and they weren't hammering it, and it wasn't the main point.
They weren't throwing wine.
His Jesus moment was just him being in a car, running away from the situation, and screaming.
Yeah,
it was more like a freedom sort of thing.
I have absolutely no idea what you guys are talking about because I've never seen a single episode of Breaking Bad.
We're gonna have to make you watch an episode of that.
We're gonna do a solo episode of that.
We're just gonna listen to you talk.
Okay. That's fine. Now, and I don't know if you guys have any more more feelings about it. We know we've talked about it as much as we possibly could. Do we want to make a decision right now what episode 2 is going to be?
Episode 2. Ooh. We could go with another of Kurt Sutter's classics. Go from Sons of Anarchy to The Shield.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't... Yeah, Netflix would have to be the best variable of it. I don't want to watch it on Hulu.
Oh my gosh. What?
Now, I have HBO now, so if we want to watch The Wire...
The Wire. Okay, we're going to do The Wire because, oh my gosh, how many fuckboys have come up to you and be like, you need to watch The Wire.
The storylines line up so well. It's just,
To be fair...
And Idris Elba's in it, right?
Yes, to be fair, the people who tell me this... I do trust.
The most trust.
The people that tell me this are like literally professors of like critical theory and stuff. So it's obviously a great show.
Yeah.
That said, I want to shit on it. I want to stick my butt on it like the ladies in the Butt Factory in the first scene of the last episode of Sons of Anarchy, which is called, was it Good Papa?
Oh, Papa's Goods.
Papa's Goods.
Awful.
Awful.
So what do we give it out of a solid 10 stars? Not 5 stars, 10 stars. What do we give this?
I give it like half a lady erection and like 3 stars because it was pretty.
Yeah.
It is a really pretty show.
Some pretty shots.
And it does employ a lot of actors we recognize from other stuff.
Yeah.
I give it 2 mud flaps with a sexy lady, 1 meth lab, 1 grain of desert sand, 5 dead IRA members, and a solid 3 stars out of 10.
I give it 3/4 of a Beyonce wig.
I'm going to have to give it about maybe 3.5 men that had midlife crisis and decided to buy a motorcycle, and therefore they are considered bikers somehow.
I would say that if we're looking at percentages here, if we're looking 110, 1 to being 100%, I would say more than 33.5% of people who watch this show went out and bought a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely happened.
Any slight interest whatsoever on seeing any more episodes from anybody, I'm pretty sure.
Like I said, I'd rather kill myself in
Yeah,
front of my
Wow.
unborn child.
Yeah, I'd rather make you a child just so you can.
I would
fulfill
rather
that.
like join a gang and have to get fucked into it and have to be like Adriana from The Sopranos and fall into portals that put me getting fucked in different gangs, different combinations, and being moms to different people.
Yeah.
Do everyone's laundry, then watch any more of that show.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So that was. So what did I miss? I am Oliver, and I just
I'm Chach.
follow me.
And I am Flash.
Flash.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Flash Medallion.
Oh shit, he actually has something to. Yeah, I don't have. Okay, yeah.
Remember, I do podcasts.
And we are going to try and get more professional on the other half here. And that is all. Thank you. You do the stop thing.
Professional is like a hooker.
There.
That's what he means.
Yeah.
Butt hooker.
Butt hooker.
We're going to have a butt warehouse.